late than never. I do apologize for being late. I had a civic duty. I'm not kidding you, actually. Jury duty. Jury duty. I thought they were going to kick me out of there early. But, I have to learn unless you pay the money up front. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't pay any money, and I couldn't bribe those guys. They're dedicated public officials down at the courthouse in Massachusetts Superior Court. And they said, we appreciate your service, guy, but get out of here. We don't think you're qualified for jury duty. We have more qualified people. You're free to leave. So they kicked me out. Good morning, good afternoon. That's good afternoon, everybody. Amazing Great Sports Network on a Wednesday where we go over everything that happened over the weekend, which is the NFL. The NFL and everything that happened and what didn't happen and what should have happened and what could have happened and all those things wrapped up in between once in a while. We get it right. We make some predictions. And this week, ladies and gentlemen, if my compadres were still with me, it would be winner, winner, chicken dinner because I went 11-3. That's right, 11-3 for the week. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I tell you, there's no better feeling than that. No better feeling than that. So let's start off with prayer. God, thank you. Thank you for pushing me forward. Thank you for pushing me forward. Thank you for pushing me forward in life, in work, in business, in relationships. I hope that I don't disappoint you. I hope that I am able to uh, earn your trust in me to go forward in life and to live this long. Because at age 65, yes, it's a good looking 65, I know, but it's still 65. I remember when Martin Luther King was alive and he died, I think, at 38. And John F. Kennedy at 43. Robert Kennedy at somewhere in between there. But what I'm saying is that I've seen a lot of people come and go, and that I've seen them leave early in life, and the shame of it all. And this is a very short and sweet life. And you have to pray, guys. You have to pray for your souls to be cleansed, your body, minds, and your souls to be cleansed before that judgment day of when that book is going to open. And this is a spiritual world, everyone. It looks like a physical world, but it's a spiritual world. So let us get on our knees and pray for forgiveness for whatever that we are deficient in. And if you think you're not deficient in something, you are the biggest person with the deficiency because all of us commit at least, gosh, countless sins a day. I have to cross my heart and pray for forgiveness. I don't know how many times a day. And I want you to know that we're all in the same boat. So let us all, in Jesus' name, ask for forgiveness for our sins. Amen. Okay, now that I got that out the way, it's birthdays. Yeah, do we have where's our sound effect for birthdays here? Bada boom, that's today in history. It's not today in history today. Amazing Grace, and here we go. What we got?
Happy birthday, all. Happy birthday, all.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, all you people. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you. Isn't that some beautiful singing right there? Yeah, well, leave that in the comments section, what you think about that singing. If you think it was beautiful or needs just a little bit of improvement. Birthdays. What do we have for birthdays here? I can tell you what we have for birthdays. Born on October 15th, 1858. October 15th was yesterday. But back in 1858, we have somebody, and you know this guy's got to be old. So he's definitely got to be somebody that is in a way, way, way back machine. We have a guy named John L. Sullivan. There he is. John L. Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen, was born October 15th, 1858. the son of Irish immigrants. And John L. was known as the Boston Strong Boy. And he was born in Roxbury, Massachusetts, which is like saying Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn is a neighborhood in the New York City, of New York City, and Roxbury is a neighborhood of Boston. So he's actually born in Boston. But Roxbury and Dorchester, Jamaica Plain, South Boston, North Boston, East Boston, but there is no West Boston. But he was born in Roxbury, Massachusetts, a neighborhood of Boston. And John L. Sullivan was the first heavyweight gloved champion, and by de facto means, in default, the last heavyweight bare knuckle champion. That's right, he came in as the bare knuckle champion and he left as the first heavyweight glove champion. Now, Sullivan was quite good at school. I know, just look at him. He doesn't look like he's, the articulate type. Like he's a guy who's studious, right? He just looks like a brawling brute right there. John L. Sullivan, USA. Looks like he's ready to fight right now. But John was actually pretty good in school, and he enrolled in Boston College. He was going to be a Catholic priest or somewhere close to that. But he dropped out. Yeah, he dropped out of school. There were kids dropping out of school even in 18, that would be 1878 around that time, make him 20, um, dropping out of school. According to John, quote, I threw my books aside and I gave myself up to it. I'm sure he's talking about sport. This is how I got into the baseball profession. I left school for good and all. From the baseball business, I drifted into boxing. End quote. Now, Sullivan became champion by defeating Patty Ryan on February 7th, 1882. So time is traveling pretty good here. He was 24 years old. Defeated Patty Ryan February 7th, 1882. And Sullivan solidified his reign when he knocked out the tough Jake Kilrain in the 75th round in 1889. That was called the fight of the century. It's amazing how many fights of the century that they have. That was the fight of the century. George Carpentier and George Dempsey was the fight of the century. Uh, Ali and Frazier was the fight of the century. Gosh, probably even more than that, more than we know. But he knocked out Jake Corain in the fight of the century in 1889. And that was the last bare knuckle fight. And during the buildup, it received a good amount of press coverage. And it made John L. Sullivan famous. Made him so famous that John L. enjoyed his newfound acceptance and notoriety and did not defend his title over the next 3 years. He just lived off it. Everywhere he went, they brought him drinks, they brought him dinner. He said, I can lick anybody in the house. And he probably could. And that's why they brought him drinks and they brought him dinner. But finally, he had to fight again. And this next fight was against James J. Corbett. And he lost that fight. And when he did, he retired from boxing. John L. Sullivan, the Boston Strong Boy, ended his career with 38 wins and one loss. Happy birthday. Happy posthumous birthday, John L. Thank you for the memories. Now, moving on along, we have another guy who was born in October. I wonder who that could be. Happy birthday to Dave DeBuscher. Yeah, Dave DeBuscher was born in October 16th, which is today, ladies and gentlemen. Today would be his birthday. But unfortunately, Mr. DeBuscher died May 14th, 2003 of a heart attack, and he was only 63. But in memory of him, born on October 16th, 1940, David Albert DeBuscher was an American professional baseball player, professional basketball player, and professional basketball coach. Yes, I said that right. And I thought this is something that is so interesting. You need to know who Dave DeBuscher was. He was a great player. I actually saw him play. I am that mature. And he was a great basketball player. But he also played baseball. DeBusschere played for the Chicago White Sox of Major League Baseball in 1962 and in 1963. He was a pitcher, won a couple of games. I mean, yeah, but he played. He made it to the major leagues. I mean, the guy was a uh, very distinguished pitcher in college, right, at Detroit University. He played basketball, averaged 24 points a game, and he pitched. And he pitched them to the playoffs 3 straight years. They're called the Titans, Detroit Titans. And so he was that accomplished. He was that good. So he was drafted as a baseball player and a basketball player. And he played some baseball for Chicago. At the same time, he was also playing basketball for the Detroit Pistons from 1962 through 1968. While he was doing that, he also served as the head coach for the Pistons from 1964 through 1967. This guy, wow, wow. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of brain power. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of work ethic right there. Okay. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And this is what stood out to me when I watched Dave DeBusschere play was he was blue collar all the way. Had a great shot, great jump shot, rebounded, pursued plays, played great defense. Was really. I'm telling you, he was a really good player. Um, he was traded. Being the player and the coach did not prevent or prohibit DeBusschere from being traded. Even back then, they traded you. They were going to trade you. They wanted to trade you. They were going to trade you. And he was traded from um, Detroit to the New York Knicks in 1968. And he played there until he retired in 1974, which was a pretty good deal because DeBusschere was part of two NBA championships with the New York Knicks in 1970 and 73. And those have been the only championships they have won in the NBA. I mean, you'd have to go. I'm pretty sure I go way back. Okay, way back. And I'd have to research it, but I believe those are the only NBA championships that New York has. Now, if somebody has different information and you listen to the clip, okay, comment, let me know. But as far as I know, DeBusschere was part of the only two championships that the New York City Knickerbockers have ever won, whether they had Spike Lee in the stands or not. Okay? It didn't matter. He was not going to give them good luck. He's not a very good leprechaun. Not a good luck leprechaun, no, Spike isn't. Because whether he's there or not, they lose. So happy posthumous birthday to Dave DeBusschere in memory of his accomplishments and the type of player that he was. Next, we have Naomi Osaka. Naomi Osaka was born on October 16th, 1997. Wow, that's just a couple of years ago. Sheesh. Wow. 27 years old. But anyway, Naomi was born in Osaka, Japan. I always thought that was funny because I've been to Osaka, Japan, and I've never met anybody in the city of Osaka, Japan with the last name Osaka. It's just strange to me. I thought it would be so cool that if my last name was Boston, okay, and I was born in Boston. I mean, I mean, to just be, yeah, just call me Boston. Just call me, yeah, I'm from Boston and call me Boston. I don't know, but I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that she was born in Osaka and her last name is Osaka. It just seems to mean that you're made for greatness. And she was a great tennis player. Not to say that she isn't now. She's kind of disappeared from the scene at such a young age. She hooked up with some rapper and things went south after that. Yeah, things went south. But we're not going to talk about that because it's her birthday today. So we're going to wish her a happy birthday and hopefully she gets back on track and starts playing tennis once again and doing well. Happy birthday to Naomi Osaka. Today is her birthday, October 16th, 2024. And last but not least, okay, born on October 18th, which is 2 days from now, but it's within the calendar week that we celebrate birthdays. Born on October 18th is Thomas Hearns. He was born on October 18th in 1958 in Memphis, Tennessee. Thomas, the Hitman Hearns, also known as the Motor City Cobra, became the first boxer in history to win world titles in 5 weight divisions: welterweight, light middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of moving up from 147 up to 175. Hmm. So, like, good luck with that. Hearns. Now, Hearns was born in Memphis, Tennessee, but he's known for boxing out of Detroit. So, here's how it happened. Hearns and his family moved from Memphis to Detroit when he was 5 years old. And at the age of 10, he began to box at the renowned Kronk Gym under the tutelage of Emmanuel Stewart. Hearns compiled an amateur record of 155 wins and 8 losses. And after winning the National Golden Gloves in the light welterweight division in 1977, he turned professional. Hearns had 61 wins, with notable wins over Jose Cuevas, Juan Roldan, Wilfredo Benitez, Randy Shields, and Roberto Duran. But Thomas the Hitman Hearns is known more for 2 of his 5 losses. He only had 5 losses, but 2 of them were epic events. One was to Sugar Ray Leonard in the welterweight super fight when both were undefeated champions in that division. They were beating everybody, and the clamor was for them to fight one another, and it went on for more than a year and a half. They finally agreed to meet, and it went 15 rounds. Now, Hearns lost. Hearns lost that fight. He was knocked out in the 15th, if my memory serves me correct, and I should have researched this a bit more. But if anybody has any data that says no, it happened in a different round, leave a comment. But he ran out of gas. Hearns was a big guy. I mean, he at 6'1", to weigh, under 147 pounds, which is the welterweight limit. Um, and 149 pounds is the welterweight limit. And Ray Leonard only stood about 5'5". Hearns was 6'1", and he ran out of gas toward the end. Could almost won the fight, but he ran out of gas. And Ray Leonard, ever the tiger, ever the finisher, ever the guy who's never going to give up at that particular time in his career, was one of the best fighters I had ever seen. And Hearns couldn't keep him off him, and eventually he succumbed. So that's one of the fights that he's known for, but everybody knows the epic fight that he's known for is his bout with Marvelous Marvin Hagler in a historic slugfest for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. This bout, known as the War, and I mean they quote it as quote the War unquote, has often been labeled as the 3 greatest rounds in boxing history. Hearns may not have won the fight, but after the fight, he was elevated to legend status even in the loss. That's how good of a fight it was. And I'm sure that fight is watched at least, 50 to 100 times every day. So, unbelievable fight for the 3 rounds that it lasted. Thomas Hearns retired from boxing in 2006 and is rated number 18 in Ring Magazine's 100 Greatest Punches. And that takes care of our birthdays for today. Thomas Hearns, happy birthday. Thank you very much for the memories. Enjoy. And hopefully he's in good enough shape to enjoy it. We know as most boxers, they take a lot of punches and they might not be in shape. And if he's not in the shape that we would like to see him enjoy it, I pray and I hope that his health comes back. All right, let's move on to the. I was going to say the best part, but that's only because I'd be tooting my own horn. Okay, the NFL review. The NFL review. I'm going to get a song. I'm going to get a little ditty for that. The NFL in review. How I did, and it didn't start off very good. No, it didn't. We had San Francisco traveling to Seattle. I picked Seattle in the upset, and I was wrong. That's right. I was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I took too long. It wasn't even close. San Francisco beat them 36-24. Geno Smith threw for 312 yards and still lost. Debo Samuel, he received 102 yards and did all right for himself. And then on Sunday, that would happen on Thursday. Sunday, I had a chance to regroup, get myself back together after one game and one loss. And would I do it? Let's see. The next game was Jacksonville. Jacksonville was traveling to Chicago to play Chicago. And since Jacksonville had just won a game, I figured they might go on a roll. Wrong. No roll. No roll. I picked Jacksonville. Chicago won. And again, it wasn't close. It was 35-16. Trevor Lawrence threw for 234 yards, but it was not enough. Obviously, not enough. Next, I took Arizona going against Green Bay. Green Bay at home. Are you kidding me? Yes, I took it. I took Green Bay. That's what I mean. And I was right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Bingo. 2 wrong, 1 right. I'm on my way. Next, Indianapolis was traveling to Tennessee, and Tennessee has looked terrible. Will Levis got knocked out the game, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. They have no running game. Tony Pollard has looked like, well, hasn't looked like much. And here was Indianapolis coming in. Yeah, here was Indianapolis coming in with Joe Flacco. Joe barely lost the week before. It was, I think he lost by 2 points. I think it was 34-32 or 36-34. Indianapolis with Joe Flacco is a real team. And I took Indianapolis, ladies and gentlemen. And I was right. That's right. I was right. Right. R-I-G-H-T. Right. R-I-T-E. Right. Right. Indianapolis won 20-7. Joe Flacco threw for 180 yards. Tony Pollard ran for 93 yards. But it was not enough. Josh Downs caught 2 touchdowns. And so it began. But I think they're going to replace Joe Flacco with Richardson. So that's going to end right there. Next game, we had Tampa Bay going to New Orleans. Now, as you guys can see, I'm 2-2. 2-2. Feeling good. Now, I should have went with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're playing New Orleans has been their nemesis, and they're playing in New Orleans. And even Tampa Bay fans know that New Orleans has beaten them even when they've been good. New Orleans has been a nemesis, and I picked New Orleans. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield, because the game was 51-7. And if I had to play Baker Mayfield in my fantasy football league, I would have won that. I would have won the matchup I had. But I didn't. And that's what happens when you're not loyal, ladies and gentlemen. You have to believe. No, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go down that route. Pick the team you think is going to win. Toss the coin up in the air. See what happens. Next game. Cleveland was traveling to Philadelphia. And you know, there's no way I was picking Cleveland. I'm going with Philadelphia at home. And I was right. So now I am 3-3. No, now I'm 4-3. I'm working well. Oh, you know what? Because there's a game I forgot. This game was so bad. Okay, I forgot. Houston went to New England, and I took Houston, and I won. So now, yeah, I'm 4-3 now. 4-3, and that would be the last game that I would lose. Would be that New Orleans Tampa Bay game, because from there I went on a roll. Philadelphia, I picked Philadelphia to beat Cleveland. I picked Baltimore to beat Washington. I picked Los Angeles Chargers to beat Denver, and they did 23-16 with Justin Herbert throwing for 237 yards. In the Baltimore game, I got to tell you this. Lamar Jackson, who I've rode up and down like a bad set of a highway, okay? In a what is it, a Mustang Boss Mach 4. Just put treads up and down his back because he's a running back who throws. And I gotta tell you, he's looked much better this year. And really, if it is what it is what it is. Lamar Jackson threw for 323 yards. 323 yards. Not bad for a running back that throws, right? Um, the running game with him and Derrick Henry has opened up the passing game. He doesn't have to be inaccurate, but I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to cut corners here because when you throw for 323 yards, you're doing something, okay? You are doing something. And Lamar Jackson, you are doing something. 323 yards, kudos to you. Keep it up. Keep it up. Study your craft. Become even better, okay? So that you don't even have to run. You got Derrick Henry back there. Let him just do that running. Okay. Now that's Denver, Los Angeles to beat Denver. Pittsburgh traveled to Las Vegas. I took Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin to get back on track, and he did. Pittsburgh defeated um, Las Vegas 32-13. It wasn't even close. Not even close. And if you think that was kind of a blowout, 32-13, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on with the Dallas Cowboys? Okay, let's just put this up here. The Dallas Cowboys in Dallas against Detroit. The Detroit Lions, roaring Lions roar. Detroit came in to Dallas. Okay, let me just make sure. 4 o'clock game, 4:25 game. Came into Dallas, so Dallas should have had enough sleep. Even if they stayed out late last night, they should have been able to go to bed and get back up. Wrong. Dallas got smoked 47-9. 47-9. Jared Goff threw for 315 yards. Um, it pretty much speaks for itself. 47-9. Okay, that's all you need to know. 47-9. Cowboys lose in Dallas. Atlanta went to Carolina. That's right. Carolina went to Atlanta went to Carolina. I took Atlanta. Of course, I won that one. Carolina has been an embarrassment all year. What can I give you on that one? Can I give you any particulars? Kirk Cousins threw for 225 yards. He threw for 500 the week before. Tyler Algier had 105 yards rushing, and Deontay Johnson led all receivers with 78 yards. Cincinnati, the Bengals, will travel to New York. The New York Giants, who just won a game, feeling good with themselves. Surprised somebody. But I called it. I took Cincinnati, and they won 17-7. Not much of a game. Joe Burrow threw for 208 yards. Daniel Jones, 58. T. Higgins had 77 yards. Not much of a game, but they won. And last but not least, on Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills traveled to the New York Jets, minus Robert Saleh, who was fired on the plane ride home from London because he wasn't too thrilled with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't get along with him. And what happened with Mike McCarthy back when Aaron Rodgers was with Green Bay? Yeah, you guys remember that guy, Mike McCarthy? Yeah, he used to be the coach of Green Bay. He got fired when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. And now Robert Saleh is fired when Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the New York Jets. Coincidence? Maybe. Probably not. Anyway, Buffalo went to New York and they beat New York 23-20. Sort of a close game. Aaron Rodgers had 294 yards. Brees Hall had 113. Alan Lazard had 114. But the big news is that Devontae Adams has been traded to the Jets. And I tell you, it might be, the Jets might be going places if Rodgers can stay healthy. But I have a feeling karma might come back to bite him. We will find out. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That's it. That's how I went 11-3. If going from there, we're going to go right to my predictions for next week. Now, as I say, don't bet the house on it. Do not bet your house on anything that I predict here because you're not coming to live with me. Period. No, don't leave any comments in the comment section that things went bad because you bet on something that I predicted. Because here's the disclaimer: don't bet on anything I say. You are not coming to live with me. Beginning tomorrow, Denver will travel to New Orleans, and I am taking New Orleans. Let's just get that straight and out the way. Bam, let's check it off right there. New England is traveling to Jacksonville. Now, this is a game. This is a game. But I'm taking Jacksonville. I'm taking them because they're at home. Jacksonville was actually favored by 5.5 points. Drake Mays look good, though, guys, and they better watch out. New England could win this game. Very much so. Oh, and you wouldn't believe this. In New Orleans is not favored. Denver's favored. So I'm taking New Orleans. In New Orleans is the underdog. I'm taking Jacksonville. They are the favorite. Next game, we have Seattle. Seattle's traveling to Atlanta. I think Seattle has lost 2 in a row. They're going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You can get tickets there for $68 because Atlanta does not support their team. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Chocolate City. That's right. Supposed to be a chocolate city. But I can guarantee you, wherever there's a chocolate city, nobody's paying any money for tickets to the stadium. If they don't get them free, they ain't going. Why? Because they're cheap, and there are different priorities. Their priorities are going on vacations and restaurants, but not supporting their teams. Well, anyway, I digress. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, traveling to Atlanta. But I'm going to take Atlanta to win. Kirk Cousins is looking good. That's 3 home games in a row. Tennessee's traveling to Buffalo. I am taking Buffalo to win. That's 4 home games in a row. Atlanta's favored by 2. Buffalo's favored by 9. Cincinnati's traveling to Cleveland. Has anybody seen Deshaun Watson or what used to be Deshaun Watson? I mean, isn't it just sad? It's just sad to see this guy was once on top of the football world, signed a great big contract uh, to go to Cleveland. Then got involved in the big brouhaha about massage parlors and the massages he was getting, whether they were legitimate or of the harassing type. You know, listen, to me, it was a pile-on. Okay, I don't think the guy was totally right, but I don't think he was as bad as they made him to be. I think it's everyone saw all those females saw a chance to get paid. They got paid. They wanted to get paid. I mean, how much are they getting paid for a massage? They thought they could retire, but if I know them, they've blown it and the money's all gone and they're back out there massaging people again. But anyway, Cincinnati's traveling to Cleveland, and I'm taking Cincinnati. Now, if you want to go to that game, those are the cheapest tickets. Now, Cleveland, the Dog Pound, Rabbit City for the Cleveland Browns. You can get tickets there for $36, probably less by game time. Damn, Houston is traveling to Green Bay. Now, this is a game, and I am taking Green Bay. Miami's traveling to Indianapolis, even with Richardson in the lineup, not Joe Flacco. I'm still going with Indianapolis. Detroit is traveling to Minnesota. Oh my gosh. These guys are on the top of the, Minnesota hasn't lost a game. Hasn't lost a game. I think they're 5-0. I'm going to tell you right now. 5-0. Detroit Lions are 4-1. Green Bay Packers are 4-2. Chicago Bears are 4-2. Now that used to be the worst division in football. It's called the black and blue division. It was actually just the worst division. It wasn't really black and blue. They hit each other pretty hard, but so doesn't everybody else. They were just inept at offense. But now, can't say that right now. So, where am I going with this? I'm going with Detroit. I'm going with Detroit against Minnesota. Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles are traveling to New York City, which is about maybe 100 miles away, if that. Okay. Uh, Very short plane ride. Are they even going to take a plane? Probably just take a bus, a train. Well, anyway, they're traveling to New York City to take on the Giants. I'm taking Philadelphia. Las Vegas is traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams, and I'm taking the Rams. I mean, Vegas has looked terrible. Matthew Stafford should be catching the stride with Tutu Atwell and Kyron Williams, and well, they're just getting it together. They're getting it together, so I believe that they're going to pull it off. They're playing at home. The Rams are favored by 7, so I'm not totally off. But in the Minnesota game against Detroit, Minnesota's favored by 2.5. Take your pick. Carolina is traveling to Washington. That one is going to Washington. As far as I'm concerned, Jaden Daniels has looked fantastic. He's going to be hard to beat. Um, but Washington's fans are going to have to be brought into it because tickets can be got there for $67. But then again, Washington, D.C. is a chocolate city, too. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it right on the air. You guys got to start supporting your teams. And what's going on? All right. I see a whole bunch of overweight people. That's right. Spending means you spend a whole lot of money on food. How about you spend some money and go to a game, support your team, run up and down the aisles and lose some weight? Let's try that one. Kansas City's traveling to San Francisco. This was last year's Super Bowl. Kansas City has not lost a game this year. They are 5-0. San Francisco is 3-3. Hmm. 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 You can't bet against. This is like Tom Brady. It's gonna happen. They're going to lose a game. They're going to lose a game. But you can't bet against Tom Brady, uh, and you can't bet against Pat Mahomes. Kansas City and San Francisco. New York. The New York Jets are traveling to Pittsburgh. And if Devontae Adams is with the New York Jets and they're traveling to Pittsburgh, I don't think Mike Tomlin and his defense are going to stop them. They might look good against some mediocre quarterbacks, but if Rodgers is playing up to par with Adams and Lazard, with Lazard, yeah, Devontae Adams and Lazard, Brees Hall, yeah, Braylon Allen, I'm going with New York Jets. We're going to see what happens. Pittsburgh's a different breed. Yeah, those are a different breed of people up there. They support their team. You can't get tickets any less than $107 there. And last but not, I just looked at the last game on Monday night. The last game on Monday night involves Baltimore Ravens traveling to Raymond James Stadium to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh my gosh, you can get tickets there for about $64. Yeah, they'll be way up there, but you can get in. That's if you can get past all that smoke. Yes, all that smoke that's going on in the parking lot. Yeah, I've been to a couple of Bucks games. Gee whiz! Wow. Anyway, yeah. Who am I going to pick? I let Lamar Jackson, even though Baker Mayfield is my quarterback. I don't know if they can. I don't know who can stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers at this time. Really, I don't. I think Baltimore is a force to be reckoned with. Uh, Derrick Henry was that missing piece. They become just a running team. Forget about it. We are a running team. They pass us once in a while. And because you have to load up so much on the run, when we pass, we're going to get big chunks of yardage. And they do get big chunks of yardage. So my hat's off to Harbaugh to see how well he deals with success here. Because right now, it's a magic formula. They're working hard. And I believe they have a formula that's going to be hard to beat, and I'm picking them over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have for you today. Those are my picks. And like I said, don't bet your house on it because you ain't coming to live with me. With that, I'll let you go. And we'll move on down the line. We're going to get to our Caitlin Cox special sometime this week. We wanted to do it last week when we weren't able. And since then, it became even sweeter because more news came out about the WNBA disrespecting her. Well, just because she's white and she's a heterosexual. Amazing what it's come to. They'll tell you anything but the truth. Disrespecting her just because she's a heterosexual white female. She carried the league. Carried the league. But she'll get no respect here in America, and the news agencies will let it go. Her own teammate was part of the disrespect. One of her own teammates was part of the disrespect. I can't make this up. Let me put it this way. If she was a black person, if she was a black female, and there were white females disrespecting her like this, they would be in court right now. Hauled into court for being racist, hate crimes, something of the sort. Anything they could get them on. And here I am, one of the few people who are actually saying, this is wrong because it just gets ignored. And this is basically what the expose on Caitlin Clark is going to be about. Why Black America is in such hate when it comes to white people and how it needs to be addressed. We'll talk about that then, but for now, this is the sign off. Everyone have a good day and enjoy yourselves. With that, I'll give you my bumper music on the way out. That's right. Got the drum roll coming, and then you got the bass. Get ready. I'll see you guys on Saturday on WEZE AM 590 radio. You can live stream it. Like, subscribe, and leave comments, as always. And if you know any of the answers that I made any mistakes, in any of the predictions or any of the stats that I've given out, and you think you know the answer, you think you're on, leave it in the comment section. Show me up. This I got to see. I'll talk to you then. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.